Hello, welcome to another video from Mida Travel. My name's Mike, and yes, I'm on my own again this time. Hopefully Dave will be joining us in some of our future content that's to come. But at the moment he's busy working, so you've got me to guide you through part 2 of our quickfire tips for sailing with Marella, and in particular Marella Voyager. So there's 30 plus more tips coming to you in this video, so let's get started. Now, once a week, they have a cast show in the Broadway Theatre Lounge. Now, it's very early in the morning. On our cruise, it was midnight. Some of the crew from all around the ship come to the theatre and entertain. And unfortunately, we missed it. But we heard how good it was. So look out for that, because we certainly weren't aware that it happened. Moving on to the rooms. Now, there's a couple more things with the rooms. In the inside and outside, you do not have to have the beds together. You don't have to have them like that in any room, but it probably makes more sense in inside and outside room because they're facing you as you walk in. Now, if they're together, it can make it a little bit awkward for getting in and out at night, particularly if you need to go to the toilet like I do. And also, we tend to like them apart because it just makes the cabin seem so much bigger, and it also gives you easy access to the window if you want to have a nose out the window. So if you do want them changed, just speak to your cabin crew and they will happily switch those around in no time at all for you. Now, in the bathroom, it can be a bit of a step up. Now, I've got dodgy ankles, and it's about a foot. There's about a foot step up to get into the bathroom. Now, I went a week of the cruise, half the cruise, without realizing there was a handrail just inside the door on the right. It's not like it was hidden or anything, just me never even thought about it. But sometimes it was a bit of a step more the down for me. So it may well be that you need that handrail to help yourself in. The other thing is, if you do, like me, get up at night, it might well be worth looking for one of those little torches. Now, of course, I use the phone, but not everybody. It's a bit awkward sometimes to get the torch on. You can buy those really little miniature torches that if you need to get up for the toilet in the night, it will be a godsend. When you are on the ship, then make sure you keep your cruise card with you at all times. Now, the cruise card is your form of payment on the ship. It's also required every time you go on and off. So if you're on all-inclusive and you want to buy an extra, or even if you're on premium, because there are premium upgrades to some of the drinks and food, then make sure you keep your card with you at all times. They don't always ask for it if you're getting all-inclusive drinks, but it is useful to have. The reception on Marella ships is open 24 hours, so you're covered at any time of the day if you have a problem. Now, the only thing we will say is that we love the staff on Marella ships. The only time we've had problems with them is at reception, so don't expect it to be easy. The other thing is, if you have a problem, try to avoid going sort of early hours of the morning, 8 till about 10, because those are usually the times it's at its busiest. So unless urgent, wait for a little later in the day. Now, if you're traveling with someone who has got a special occasion, or if you're celebrating an anniversary or anything, then if you go to reception, in Cruise News, there is a section of special messages. And you can see we have room for 6. They'd all gone on this day. So if you do want to leave a special message, do it as early as possible in the cruise as you can. Now, there is a charge, and at the time I'm recording this, I believe that it's £4 to have a message in. But how nice is that? If you're in the cabin, you come back at night, you look at your Cruise News, and there's that special message. Are you traveling as a family? So what can the kids do on board? Firstly, let me just say Marella Cruise ships have animals on each of their ships. On Discovery 2, it was penguins, and on Voyager, it's zebras. Now, we're daft because we even give them names as we spot them. but there are different ones around the ship, so see how many your kids can spot. But of course, that's not going to keep them happy long. So what have you got for children to entertain them? For under 3-year-olds, you've got the Mini M Club. Now, that is open 11 till 12 in the mornings. You've got the M Club for 3 to 11-year-olds. That is open at various times during the day. If I just look quickly at the cruise news for this day, which was St. Vincent, you've got 9 till 11 Captain McCraft's. You've got 3 till 5 p.m. Melody Mermaid Ship Hunt, and you've got 7:30 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. movie night. So quite a lot for 3 to 11-year-olds to do. And then you've also got the Hideout, which is for 12 to 17-year-olds and is open from 9 in the morning till 10 p.m. at night. And it's described as a cool place for kids to hang out. Somewhere else the kids might like, but also some of us adults as well, is Gamer Zone. Gamer Zone is located on deck 6 next to the cinema, and it's brilliant in there. Me and Dave went and spent a little bit of time reliving the 80s with games like Street Fighter and Pac-Man. And there was also, there's consoles in there with comfy bean bags that you can play Xbox, PlayStation 5, a variety of games. And as I say, Dave, he got so carried away with Street Fighter, I just left him there in the end. Are you partial to a cake with your coffee? In Coffee Port, be aware that every cake in there looks delicious, but every cake in there has a price. So if you do like a coffee, a cake with your coffee, then make sure you pick one up from elsewhere and take it with you. Also, when it comes to Coffee Port, it is the nice place to sit if you want to do a jigsaw or board games. They are available there to use. I have to say, I thought there was quite a limited selection. There was a few books as well, but definitely a place to go if you like board games or jigsaws. Sometimes during the day on ship, I love to go and have a bit of peace and quiet. And one of the good places to go is the Squid and Anchor pub. It tends to be quiet during some of the day, particularly in the mornings. It's nice and airy and light in there. You've got the sea views. You can sit by the window looking out to sea. And just if I want to just do a bit of reading or fiddle with my phone, I can do it in nice, peaceful surroundings. Now, if you want to book that next cruise with Marella, because you've enjoyed the current one so much, then there is a holiday store opposite the cinema and next to the photo studio on deck 6. Now, we've got another Marella cruise booked. We love sailing with Marella. But we haven't had experience of going into the holiday store, so I can't comment on what sort of offers there are, but it's always worth going in and having a chat. If you've loved your cruise so much, you want the next one. Let's just do a couple more food ones. Firstly, the kitchens. If you've seen our other videos, then you know that we weren't and aren't big fans of the kitchens. Nothing wrong with the food. We just didn't like the setup and the fact that it's not serve yourself. But just to be aware, there are 8 different stations in kitchens. They serve the same food every day. So if you see something, say at the Greek, and you fancy it and you think it might not be on the menu again, it will be the day after and the day after that and the day after that. It stays the same at any of the bays. So don't panic if you see something you want. You can change and do it the next day. Vista. Vista is the Italian restaurant and is only open for dinner. Excellent restaurant. We love Vista. We loved it on Discovery 2 and we loved it also on Voyager, but it is only open in the evenings. If you are eating at Corallar or Surf and Turf, there is a great little bar right at the entrance to those restaurants called Aperitif. They specialize in gin and whiskies, and it's a great place for a pre-meal drink before you go to those restaurants. If you're celebrating a really special occasion, Then at Silver Fork, which was our favorite restaurant, you can get a 7-course taster menu. Now we paid, I think it was $36.95 for a normal meal at Silver Fork. We absolutely loved it, but I would imagine that 7-course taster menu, which I think was about an extra £10, would be something ideal for a special occasion. Nonna's, they were the pizza restaurant, or they are the pizza restaurant. Lunch was very limited. There was only a choice of 2 pizzas, both tomato based. So if you don't like tomato, you're probably not going to enjoy lunch, but you have got the pasta option. But evening dinner was much more choice. We didn't do dinner there. But as I say, you can build your own pizza, and I think there's a much wider choice on the menu. Right, a few more room tips. Hangers. In the room, there were so many hangers that we had no problem, and that has been the case sailing on Discovery 2 and Voyager. And I'm sure if you needed more hangers, you'd only have to have a word with the cabin crew. The toiletries provided by Marella we found excellent. The shower gel I really liked. So if you are short of space, don't worry too much. The shower gel on there is pretty good. Also with the room, each night, along with your cruise news, when your beds are turned back, you get a nice little chocolate on each pillow. Now, we like to save these up in the drawer, and when we're traveling home, we get a little bag out and we've got all the chocolates for the journey home, which is a nice little treat. I do want to mention again, I did put it in part 1, but I think it's so important that I put it again in part 2. The biggest problem with the rooms, in our opinion, was the lack of power sockets. Now, in our outside room on deck 4, we had one European plug, and next to that, there was one other plug, but it had got a plug plugged in it which couldn't be removed, which had 2 USB ports. So that was it for the room. Now, to us, that's just totally inadequate. You may well have been able to rummage down the back of the beds and get the lights out, but you shouldn't have to do that. So we recommended taking extension lead, and I think as long as it's not surge protected, you should be perfectly okay. Now, if you like us, well, I hope you do. If you're like us, you like to be on top deck for sunrise and sunset, then the times are published in Cruise News in the newsletter, so you don't miss any of it, and you can get there with plenty of time to get that beautiful shot. We didn't go premium this time, but what we did have was the odd coffee treat at Coffee Port. I do love my coffee. Now they do specials. Look out for their specials because they put 2 prices. One price with alcohol, and I think for the one I'm thinking of, it was £2.50. But if you add it without alcohol, it was £1.75, and that was perfectly fine for me. So I didn't regret not having premium. If I wanted a coffee, I had the odd coffee, and it worked out great. Now, just for information, I've mentioned in part 1 that there were 2 swimming pools on deck 11, but you've also got 3 hot tubs. They do get very busy, but you can usually find at some point you will be able to get in them if you like go in the hot tub. And there are also 2 kids plunge pools, so they're well catered for as well. Prior to traveling on Voyager, we'd seen videos where the roof was open in the Summerhouse and it looked absolutely superb. We were on the ship for 2 weeks in the Caribbean in beautiful sunshine. It never opened. So I don't know whether there was just a fault with it or whether they just don't bother opening it, but don't expect it to be open because we did and it wasn't. But you have got the terrace behind the Summerhouse, which we really enjoyed, sat out there in the open because you could still hear the artist inside. And one of the final ones, if you like your food, then you may well be interested in the gym. The gym on the Voyager we thought was excellent. There are lots of classes daily if you want to try and work some of that food that you've eaten off. And again, the cruise news shows the different gym classes and times, and I think they start right from 7 o'clock in the morning right through. So always a good place. Right, my final big tip for those of you thinking about Marella, but you've heard that term. Marella is Benidorm at sea. False. Don't listen to it. We have been on 2 Marella cruises. We have never seen any bad behavior. Compared to other cruise companies, we have found the passengers on Marella cruises so much friendlier and so much more mixed in age ranges than on other cruises. We just see people wanting to have a good time, have fun. Yes, you're going to see bad behavior at times. We just haven't, but that can happen on any ship. So dispel the rumor. Don't believe it. Yes, you may well find faults sailing with Marella. We have. There's things we don't like, but both cruises, by the end, we just think, you know what? Let's not worry about them. They were little things. We've had such a good time. And every time we've done a Marella cruise, we've booked the next one. So don't fear, go, enjoy, try it. And the likelihood is, Marella, we went because so many people said so many good things. If you haven't subscribed, then please consider it. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's enormous help to us as a small channel trying to grow. Also, if you could hit the like button, that just shows us that people are liking our content and we can continue to learn. And of course, the bell for notifications about our forthcoming video. We've still got, hopefully, the next one on Voyager and Marella will be Marella Voyager, good or bad, what we loved and what we didn't. We've also got my holiday with my mother-in-law in Budapest next week coming up. And rather excitingly, it's not too far away now. In July, we are going on Explorer to try our third Marella cruise, and the first one in the Mediterranean. We've never done the Mediterranean before, so that should be exciting. So keep excited, everyone. If you've got a cruise coming up, I'm sure you're going to love it. If there's anything you want to know or anything from the points we've raised, ask the question in the comments below, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. So take care, everyone out there, and stay safe. Bye.